It is.
All
There it
right.
is. Can we turn off
Okay.
transcription?
Uh,
Oh, I
well, I
got it.
think
Boom. Or do you want transcription on?
no, no, it doesn't need to be there. Are you a 3 go or are you a 1-2 go?
Oh no, I'm a 1, 2, 3 go.
Got it. Okay. All right.
Right? All right. You gonna say it or am I gonna say it?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of Extra Sauce, or Extra Sony After Hours Support, I guess, is what it is. Obviously, in a different place. I am at home. Larry is joining me from his home as well. And we're just going to use this to kind of fill the void between our next live show, address some of the questions that came up on the previous episode, and invite you guys to obviously send some comments in for things you want us to talk about on the next episode.
Yeah. So first of all, dude, shout out to you for the name Extra Sauce. That's pretty ingenious of you. Dude, like, I knew you were smart, but I didn't know how cool you were until you dropped that one. So it's all about that extra sauce.
Never claimed to be cool.
Well, I've claimed it for you. How about that? It's been proclaimed.
I appreciate that. Yes. All right, so for those of you who have not seen our live show or know what Sauce is, the Sony After Hours Support, it's a monthly show with Larry and myself, and we have a good time just talking about awesome Sony things. Most of it is going to be regarding support, whether you're looking to buy a Sony product or maybe you just recently bought one or even a while ago, and you have some questions about it. We want to be here to support you in a more engaging and fun way, because I know support is one of those things that's kind of like, ugh. It's always techie and
Right.
details, and there's never really fun involved with it. So check us out on the Sony Support channel. Of course, make sure you follow us and subscribe, and whatever the words are, that's going to be best for that. But we'd love to have you join us and have some fun. And if we can help you, we absolutely will do our best to do so.
That's cool. Hey, so I don't want to already derail this process, but it's kind of what I do. When you were talking about getting support, it made me laugh a little bit, because I'm sure all of us have called, an 800 number or whatever for support, and you're like, so I'm having this problem with, this product, and here are the 17 things that I've already done for troubleshooting. And then that person.
Well, while you're doing that, can you repeat those same
Right. It's like,
no, I did plug it in.
Did you make sure it was plugged in? Right. That's like the first thing. Oh, it kills me. But anyway, yeah. Okay. But yeah, so this is, anyway, I think about that all the time, and hopefully we don't do that. We don't do that.
Yeah, we do want to make it more interesting. We may, because honestly, there are often times that is the fix for certain things.
Right.
And, powering off and on again, sometimes that just gets overlooked, but we're not going to make it a big deal. And if you have something direct, let us know. And on top of that, because this is not live like our live show is. So Larry and I will be checking in on the comments as well, just to answer those questions. So we should probably get into it, because we're a couple minutes in.
Let's do it
already, and we haven't really started about anything.
Let's do it.
All right. So one of the questions that came up, I made some notes for some stuff last time. Mario had a couple of questions, and one that we do want to address, because I know we're still working on one of the other ones. He was asking about the Inzone EQ.
Yes.
His question, I should have copied his exact question. I copied the notes I had about it, but basically, why does it not have the same customization options when you connect an Inzone headset to a PS5?
Right. So that was a great question. I think you and I, when we had our conversation about it, we had our theory. But Mario, just for you, we did reach out to one of the business managers for that category, and it was just a very interesting answer. Obviously, the ecosystem that is PlayStation is a super powerful product system, right? And the fans of that console, such as myself, love everything about it. So the Tempest 3D headphones are designed specifically to use with the PlayStation 5 to give you that very unique experience. Now, to answer your question, our Inzone division is working hard to try to create a sort of cross-platform usage or cross-product usage, not focusing on an audio solution or a headset solution for just the PlayStation 5, because PlayStation has that with Tempest 3D. but trying to give that same experience, because we are a sound company as well, to get that same experience on the PC side as well. So when you're trying to have a more universal application, PC and PlayStation 5, there are going to be some things that are going to differ between the two. And with PlayStation being such a locked, if you will, device, there are limitations. Now, we did ask that follow-up question. Are there future plans? Is it being discussed? Is there development on the horizon? And mysteriously, the phone disconnected. So right now, I would have to say I don't think that there's anything in the plans right now, but at least Eric and I were able to echo your interest, Mario, and share that with some individuals that work on those products.
Yeah, and I do want to add too is sometimes people overlook the fact if you were buying one of the Inzone products, specifically like the headsets or even the earbuds, and using them for a PS5, you may not have access to all of the functionality because they're kind of designed primarily around the PC usage. Mm-hmm. So if you do connect them to a PC, you will have access to the Inzone software, mm-hmm. which will have an EQ, which is kind of where the basis of the question was, why can't I EQ it the same way I can the PlayStation headphones? Right. And I know it's maybe not necessarily the most ideal situation, but in order to actually get the sound that you're looking for, you should be able to EQ them as well that way.
Right.
It's a little different, but it'll do the job.
Yeah. And Mario, if you're rocking Inzone Hub on the PC, shout out. You know, it is, to Derek's mm-hmm. point, it is a really, really nice software piece with custom EQ and picture setting things if you have an Inzone monitor that's like can be title specific. So that's really cool. So anyway, sorry.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good stuff to add in there. The next piece, which is actually a more recent question, because I think we addressed pretty much all of the questions we got on the live show. I know, Mario, we're still working on a second one if you're watching this. So we'll get back to you on that one. But one came in just yesterday at some point from Barracuda Smile. And I love the question because I think this is probably going to fill out the rest of our time that we're looking to do here today. And this is the question. What about the magic of... Well, I'm going to rephrase some of it. What about the magic going all in with Sony? Mm-hmm. Sony home theater systems. The STR-AZ, whichever model ES receiver. The 65A95L, the SASW3, the SARS5, SSCS8, SSCS5, PS5 Slim. How do all of these things work together? Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's a lot.
It is.
But I think there's some cool things that we can talk about because there's so many features of how they do work well or seamlessly together to get the most out of it. But I'm going to let you kind of run with this.
Okay.
And, you know, it's a good conversation, I think.
Yeah, it is. And it's so much. There's like where to start, right? So in-house engineering and development. First of all, let me talk about that if I can, just to bridge this whole thing or to give you the umbrella thing. There are some manufacturers out there with respect to technologies, whether it's video or audio, that outsource a lot of components. You can look on products, no shots, but you can look at TV products, for example, from other manufacturers, and you can see a different brand or a different company on the speaker. Because it says something when you are not a company of engineers that actually develop and innovate, when your best approach is to just acquire or license the usage of things. All right, let me just throw that out there. Mm-hmm. When you're putting the pieces together, they are not foreign objects that have to figure out how to work together. They are all developed and built with the same baseline and same high level of innovation and expectation for every product. So, for example, let's put together some of these packages in this conversation. So let's say you have the A95L, lucky you, right? So let's say you have the A95L and you put that with the AZ7000 receiver, and you choose to have the TV as your center channel, for example, using the dedicated speaker terminals, not to be confused with acoustic center sync, but you are using the TV as the center channel, and then integrate that using two CS Tower speakers and all of those things. the audio tuning that's gone into the relationship between speaker, between AVR, and between the television to be the center channel are to all work sort of in this cohesive manner. You understand that when you introduce a center channel that may not be tuned or may not be designed to deliver the same frequency or feel or warmth, if you will, of audio as the rest of the components, then it can feel disconnected. All right. However, keeping the Sony ecosystem together, the same baseline of development, the same sound engineers that are doing the tuning, that are ensuring that the particular type of audio quality that you're getting, it's all coming from the same sort of roadmap to success, if you will. So there's a win there. And I don't want to understate when you mentioned in your question, first of all, Barracuda Smile, that's okay. I love that name because if I see a Barracuda smile at me, I am scared. But anyway, it's a whole nother conversation. The other thing that you talked about is traditional AVRs deliver power and they rely on these speakers to deliver the different levels of sound quality. But now we're talking about our towers that we've had for a few years, right? And then our AVR that's been just recently announced, or this year, within the last year. Sorry, I'm getting dates confused. Things. Anyway.
Yeah, so this stuff goes so quickly, and
dude,
I feel like it was the beginning of the year, but I honestly don't know.
It feels like but
I don't know.
It's crazy, right? But then, but not to be too long-winded on this, but even to take a wired connected tower speaker or towered speakers, but then introduce a wireless element to the equation, you're actually bringing in so many different types of technology and allowing them to work together. That is something that no other manufacturer can say. Of course, there's an adapter for this and a third party this, but at what sacrifice, right? When things are designed to work together, the impact is there. And that's just the package I thought about. God, there's so much more. You're right, Derek. There's a lot to unpack on that.
There is. And I could definitely tell, like, this is like product trainer mode, going into these things. You just kind of flip that switch, and it's different because of the situation that we're in. I'd rather obviously be in person, but I think this is a great way to kind of fill the void a little bit. But you ended on, or maybe I cut you off on, I don't know, that right moment discussing sort of that hybrid of the wireless versus wired capability, because the introduction of being able to use the SARS 3, the SARS 5s, the SW3, the SW5s, along with the new receiver lineup, the new AZ as well as the AN1000 is actually fantastic because it gives you so much more flexibility with it. And I currently have the AN1000 and I also do have an SW3, but it's cool because then I don't have to run that extra sub cable to it. Now I have run the the RS3s. There's so many letters. Maybe I should specify what these are. I should probably do that. Yeah. Just for those that don't know, the SASW series are going to be these subwoofers that are originally, they came out wireless subwoofers for our A series soundbars. And then the RS are actually going to be the rear speakers. RS, right? And those also came out along with our A series soundbars. Now, with the addition of them being able to be used with the new AVR, I almost said AVR receivers, AV receivers, man, I don't know, it just flows when you say it that way.
It does. It does.
Anyway, the AV receivers, you do have that flexibility of having wireless subwoofers, and you can do 2 of them, which is cool, as long as they're the same model. So 2 SW3s or SW5s, and because they're wireless, they just need power. They don't have to be wired to the AVR, which is great.
Right.
If you want to do wireless rears, which I know a lot of people are looking for, because in a traditional AVR setup, you got to run speaker wire all the way from typically the front up and around, down and around, to the side and around to go to the rear. And that's not always what's the best based on your situation, or certain other family members may or may not want you to do that, which I know is the case and that I've had many discussions about. But
too real.
I know, right? Well, I think a lot of people can kind of resonate with that.
Right.
But having that option of that wireless rear is awesome because, again, you just need power.
Yep.
And it works beautifully with the system. It calibrates nicely, and it just makes everything work together. And I think this is kind of it's not a first step because Sony has always tried to put all these things to make them work together, but this is sort of the next leap in putting all of these things into more of a cohesive world.
Right. There he is.
Package.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ecosystem.
There it is.
That's the word I wanted to say.
I knew you would find it. I was letting you do your search. Yeah, no, I knew you would get it.
Ugh. I'm hungry. Anyway.
I get it. No, but
It's been a long day.
So the crazy thing though, in like kind of me as you were talking and walking through that, what I heard in that discussion and even from the question is first word that comes to mind is flexibility. Because
yes, yeah.
Whether it's spousal approval or not, right? Whether it's parental approval or not, or whether it's apartment leasing office approval or not. Look, it could be anything, right?
That's a great point. I do know a couple of influencers that I've worked with, creatives, I guess some of them like to be called, and they have actually gotten some of the rear speakers, and many of them do live in an apartment, and they're like, I can't run wires. They don't allow that. So being able to have that wireless, they're like, this is an awesome option for that.
There it is.
It's a good call out.
Yeah,
think about it that way.
Yeah, no, but that's it. And I won't get into trainer mode, right? But even with AZ, and I find it interesting that Barracuda Smile really mentioned that when you talk about how they work together, like when you think about acoustic center sync as an option with our TVs and center channel lift up, right? And those kind of different features that are unique. It is all about delivering truly sound engineered immersion, not make believe stuff, if you will. Like really, I wish we could disclose some of the things that we see when comparing our products to others. Look.
Oh, I know.
They're like
yes.
All listen, look, okay, I'm gonna take a shot at this. I don't know if this is a disclaimer moment or not, but all manufacturers put on spec sheets things like, well, these channels and that channel and this watts. And unfortunately, as a buying public, as a consumer, because this is the information that's shared, many of you go and buy things like, well, how many watts does this sound bar have? And like, that's actually not the way you measure true sound pressure, audio performance, and quite frankly, decibel level, right? That's not it altogether. But there are some internal things that we've looked at that measure true sound pressure filling a room. Oh, you guys would be blown away with the things that we've seen. Understand.
It's very cool.
Right. Companies of engineers are all about proving and delivering on the expectations. Companies that focus heavily on marketing are trying to persuade you to buy the product and not really try to develop it. Wow, that was a hot take. I'm sorry.
That was. No, and it actually made me think of a bonus. I don't know. I guess kind of a did you know? And I want to say I brought this up maybe on the first episode. I don't recall.
Okay.
But you mentioned about spec. And I know this is, it can relate to the home theater system. It can relate to an AVR. Projectors. The old lumens situation. Oh my goodness. This is one of those things that was so eye-opening to me years ago when I was in retail prior to being with Sony. When I had somebody come in and say, hey, look, here's this lumens, here's these lumens. And my question was like, well, that's more. It must be better. Then you find out that they can actually do a review based on different modes. And most people buying a home theater projector are not doing Word documents and PowerPoint office work on it. And there is typically a super bright mode that's just cranks out all the lumens and can essentially destroy your contrast, totally wash out your color that you would never watch a movie in. And that's what I like that Sony does is like, hey, these lumens are really impressive. And you know what? this is going to be the mode you're going to actually watch your movies in.
Yep.
And it's kind of eye-opening to some people that, marketing can be very tricky in many circumstances. So if you're ever looking for a projector, make sure A, you check out the Sony projectors, start there. And then B, make sure you take a look at, if you are looking at the competition, find out some of those details about how they're actually doing their measurements. It might surprise you.
100%. And look, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. You referenced PowerPoint presentations and things like that. Listen, if you're looking at a projector that's, made by a company that makes printers and things of that nature, that is why they are measuring their things in that frame, because they are an office supply type company, right? However, Sony on our side, as a movie studio, music studio, sound content creation company, we see things a little different. But here's another bonus tidbit, though, with respect to lumens. You guys have to be careful with this as well. The reported number of lumens is not a standardized methodology, right? So most manufacturers that are looking to deliver a high spec number, they look at the luminance of white. How bright can they make it? And they lock that in as their reported lumen number. Sony looks at the peak for white, the peak for red, green, and blue. And whatever the common peak luminance level is for all four of those measurements, that is our peak luminance. Whew, wow. That is our peak lumens number. Gee, I'm hungry too now. But because if I say, just to throw an arbitrary number out there, if I say my projector is 3,000 lumens, right? It can deliver 3,000 lumens of white light. But if it clips at 1,600 lumens in red, green, or blue, then unless you guys are staring at a white screen all day, you're actually never getting 3,000 lumens. That's right. The crazy thing. So when you see a Sony reported lumen number, just understand that is both white light and also our color lumen scale. So which it takes all of those elements to be able to deliver, content on a screen. So there you go. Okay, I'm done rambling.
Yeah, anybody who's watching TV shows or movies, you're probably going to want some of the color in there, and that's what Sony does and does well. To bring it back, though, that was a nice little side thing to talk about, but just to kind of bring it back to Barracuda Smile's question / comment, and what is great about, to kind of sum it up, especially this time of year, if you're shopping for a new TV, maybe a new audio system, whatever the case may be, is to keep in mind that Sony does make these things to work together seamlessly with amazing features. And what I do love too, especially with not only the A-series soundbars, but also with the receivers, is that ability to have your audio be tailored for your space rather than tailoring your space for the audio, which is a lot easier. You kind of set it up, you let it do its thing, calibrate for your room. It's going to sound amazing. But if you do get a TV, Sony TV, even if it's not necessarily the A95L, maybe it's an X90L or something like that, A80L, you have that option of using acoustic center sync. You can do that with a receiver. You can do that with one of the sound bars and kind of have them work together. You could do then the optional wireless subwoofer options or the wireless rear options. If everything just kind of works together as a cohesive system, and we have tons of options. So if you are shopping for one or the other, maybe you want to consider updating both, depending on what you want to do.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I'm for that.
Yeah.
And hey, we'll have a link if you're interested in any of these things. I'm sorry, I'll let me plug this real quick. In the description, we'll put a link to our Sony website for you to go look at some of these products. If you're interested in receivers, TVs, soundbars, any of these things that we've just here recently talked about, definitely go, click on that link and take a look and see. And to Derek's point, this time of year, we're starting to do some shopping. Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to add one more thing to that. The other link that John will probably add to the description, because it's not going to be me because I don't know how to do it. The Sony OneonOne consultation program.
Yes.
This is a fantastic way to get some personalized feedback if you're trying to figure out what to get.
Mhm.
Do I get an X90L or an X93L? Do I go into the OLED and the ADL? I'm so confused because person A said this, person B said that, website C said this.
Mhm.
Reach out on the consultation. You'll spend 30 minutes with a Sony expert like myself. I actually was on the program prior to this, and we have a ton of awesome people there that will spend that time and say, what's your space like? What do you watch? What do you want to do with it? And help you find the right solution. So great option. I don't know how booked they are though, but so check that out as soon as possible. If you have other questions though, especially on the support side, make sure you check us out on our next episode and the next one, and hopefully the next one, the next one, the next one. And we'll do these in between because we do want to support you guys. Anybody who's here just as a Sony fan, or I want to get more out of my product. I want to learn more about how I can do additional things or connect more pieces, or I'm having an issue with this working right and I just want to ask a simple question.
Yep.
Come and visit us on our live show. Throw some comments in on our videos for extra sauce, as well as the live show, because we always check the comments after the fact as well. So
every time.
Yeah.
Sweet.
But I think we can wrap it up at this point as a first shot and see.
Hold on.
Oh.
I've got two things. One is a simple teaser.
Okay.
For you Xperia 5 Mark V and 1 Mark V and 10 Mark V Xperia users, Android 14 is rolling out. I have it, and I tested some of the camera functionality, the improved background to focus or bokeh set. It is nice. I like it. Doesn't seem so artificial like maybe you see on some other cell phones. It looks really, really clean. That's the first thing, right? There's
nice
other features you'll see on there. There's a new app, a new video creator editor app that also will come in that suite. Anyway, that's that. But since I'm at home, nobody can rush down here and stop me. We are on the verge of a super cool product update announcement. Probably within 7 days of you all seeing this video, you will hear about it. Stay tuned. It'll be incredible. Derek and I... What?
Oh, I was about to say, where do you think they might be able to find this information quickly as soon as it gets announced?
As soon as it's announced, Derek and I will drop a breaking news YouTube short is what we're going to do. And I think this time we're going to drop the short here on our Sony support channel, but we are also going to crash the show on our Sony Electronics channel. So make sure you are following both or subscribing to both, and make sure you have your notification bell turned on. Both of those, we will have a link for the other channel in the description as well. The breaking news is coming. Derek and I have the software that we are going to have some advanced testing on it. So this ought to be fun. So stay tuned. There you go.
Intriguing.
There you go.
I think that's a great way to kind of end up. But yeah, if you're looking for more awesome stuff, please let us know in the comments what you would like us to see kind of going forward. We kind of wing it, honestly, most of the time, to try to make it interesting and engage with the chat and the comments as much as possible. This not being live, it's a little bit of a different story, but anything that you'd like to see going forward, please let us know in the comments. We'll do our best to accommodate everybody that we can. And with that, I guess I'm gonna let you go, and because we got a video to shoot, basically.
Yes, we do.
Cool.
Peace out, everybody. Good to see you.
Yep. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.
See
Be
ya.
well. We'll see you soon.
See ya.